This week on Inside Boulder News, voters decide on city tax initiatives, a major project creates closures on Foothills and 36, and residents are reminded to shovel their walks this snow season.
Welcome to Inside Boulder, featuring topics and stories that impact the community of Boulder, with Patrick Von Kaiserling and Jennifer Bray. And on the news desk, Natalie Wood and Mike Benuelos bring you the stories making headlines in the community this week. Inside Boulder News starts now.
Welcome to Inside Boulder News. I'm Natalie Wood. Boulder voters gave overwhelming support on Election Day to two tax measures that will help the city remain a leader in local government. The first was a 5-year renewal of the Climate Action Tax. Energy customers pay this tax based on how much energy they use. The money raised funds for conservation and energy efficiency efforts in support of the community's commitment to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions. The renewal of the tax means a continuation of approximately $1.8 million in revenue.
It funds primarily energy efficiency efforts, which helps people to use less energy and reduce our carbon emissions as a result. We're going to continue some of the great programs that we have in place, the energy advisors that are provided through the Energy Smart service, what we do in partnership with the county, that provides service to homeowners and landlords and businesses. And we have a big emphasis in the coming year on commercial energy efficiency. We're partnering with the business community to figure out how we can help them reduce energy use in commercial buildings, which is the largest part of our greenhouse gas inventory. And we're also going to be doing some work to improve our data tracking and reporting so the community knows on a more real-time basis how we're doing on our efforts and can see how the money's being spent. It's phenomenal, the leadership in this community on this issue and the real strong commitment we have to being responsible stewards of the environment and leaders, I think, nationally and internationally on taking action.
The cap tax renewal passed with 82% of the vote. The second tax measure called for an extension of an existing 0.25-cent sales and use tax for parks and recreation that was set to expire in 2015. With support at 85%, this tax will now remain in place until 2035. The money has typically been used to pay for bonds related to capital improvements and covers some operations costs. Parks and Recreation is anticipating a robust community dialogue about the priorities for this funding.
There are a lot of ideas out there. Should the economy continue to grow, we'll have about $2 million that right now is dedicated to bond debt service. So that will be available for some purpose. Now that could be continued maintenance, taking care of deferred maintenance, which I think from our perspective is a real need. We want to make sure we take care of what we have. But we also have the ability to look at whether or not the city council, the voters choose to use that money to bond for other amenities that we need in the city. And that could be infrastructure improvements like playgrounds, tennis courts, basketball areas, handball courts, that sort of thing, or looking at something new. So that's what we'll do, and that's part of what the voters would be involved with in the future. It really does speak to the value that the community says Parks and Recreation contributes to the quality of life for the residents, whether it's placemaking, healthy lifestyles, mental health, physical health, all those things speak loudly when the community approves it at 85%.
Foothills Parkway has been reduced to one lane in each direction for a bridge deck replacement project. The $1.3 million project will replace the bridge deck over US 36, originally built in 1971. It will also include work to the existing highway on both sides of the bridge. Closures will remain in effect 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until the project's completion in April. Inside Boulder News talked with CDOT officials about how to minimize the impacts for commuters and around-town travel.
With the heavy traffic we get on Foothills Parkway, the bridge deck is in a deteriorated state. And by deck, I mean the concrete under the asphalt. We want to have that deck be in good condition, in addition to the driving surface for folks on Foothills Parkway.
The way that it will impact the public is that they're going to be closing one lane of that bridge at a time, 24/7, while they're doing the work. And that's going to obviously have some transportation impacts. It'll be especially bad in the PM peak hour when everybody's coming down Foothills Parkway and then heading into Denver, and we expect the congestion on Foothills Parkway will be pretty intense. It's difficult right now. There is a lot of construction going on in the city of Boulder. It's hard to find a route that doesn't have some kind of construction impact on it, but you just have to find your best route. You have to think ahead, know that it's going to take a little bit of extra time, and plan accordingly.
Delays of up to 10 minutes should be expected throughout the project work zone. The bridge will be closed entirely for 2 weekends throughout the project, detouring all southbound traffic. Check out coloradodot.info for project and closure updates. As we enter into snow season, residents should also prepare for longer commute times during and after snowfalls. Community members are asked to be mindful of the conditions and to comply with the City of Boulder's snow removal ordinance. Property owners are responsible for clearing their sidewalks within 24 hours after snow stops falling. The Boulder Police Department enforces the snow removal ordinance, and failure to comply may result in a summons and abatement process.
What we generally do is we will give you a notice for 24 hours to remove the snow after the stop of the original 24 hours. If you don't remove it, then we hire in a contractor and they will come shovel the walk, and then that bill is charged to the property. You also have to remember, if you're on a corner lot, that you aren't only responsible just for the front but also the side along the adjacent street. If someone's confused on what area is their responsibility, they can certainly call an officer, and we'd be happy to come out and walk the property with you to show you what areas you would be responsible for.
For more information about the city's snow removal and for winter driving tips, visit bouldercolorado.gov/publicworks. Thanks for watching Inside Boulder News. Stay in touch with us on Facebook by submitting news tips and questions. Just search for City of Boulder Channel 8. More Inside Boulder is next.